Hey, I'm Justin, and today we're going into why you need to understand the beautiful contrast between pain and suffering. So, the contrast and the beauty within the contrast, right? That's the structure. We're not looking at pain as something which we resist. We see pain clearly, and that in itself, the clarity of seeing pain is implying that you are not rationalizing, not justifying, not running, nor avoiding or suppressing. But you're sitting in it, with it, and you're watching it. So you're not necessarily stuck in the pain because that invokes the victim who is separate from the pain. But if you see that you are that pain in that moment, there's not a resistance, but then the psychological space for you to learn through observing how that pain moves. Physically, our bodies are mostly water, right? Like a large percentage of our physical vessel is composed of water. Therefore, it isn't too far of a stretch, is it, to see our psyche, our psychology, to also be similar in the essence. What is water? Water is malleable. Now, when we look at that malleability, that is essentially the fruit to learn how to see pain for what it is, and that is a teacher. Pain is what you are in that moment. If you will be present and see that you're not separate from the pain. The separateness is what turns pain into suffering. As in, you go so specific into that tunnel of pain in relationship to your life, your future, your past, your attachments, your emotions, right? Then pain is suffering. But if you just sit with the pain and you don't lose your awareness and you watch what is happening within your psyche, then you can see how structurally pain works. And that is that there cannot be pain without the structure of pain being born through the vehicle of thought, knowledge, or memory. Thought, knowledge, and memory in relationship to who or what? The entity who you identify as. Insert your name. Insert your parents' preferences, likes, dislikes, your professors. All of the information, all of the things which you may have felt you had to conform to. That is where all of your thought, memory, and experience is derived from. But if you can have the awareness while the pain is moving within you, to see that that is the compass, to listen, to hear, to notice the pain which is born in the form of a reaction, that reaction sprouts from knowledge, thought, and experience, memory. All of those pillars which I just listed 2 seconds ago build from the identity which is the divided self, the me, Justin. All of that is holistic. It means that we see what we are. We understand how society, culture, and history affects what we are in this moment. That there is not a bunch of divided brains. There's one brain. And that brain moves in the simplest form of energy. Where does emotion and thought come into the fold? Well, emotion, energy in motion. Not too far of a stretch. Emotion, energy in motion. What's the nature of energy? It is like water. What are our physical vessels? Mostly water. So now we enter this thing after you do the work. Once you do the work, as you continue to do the work, moment by moment, you observe your reactions with that context, that foundation which I've mapped out, being seen clearly. Now we have something which is much more than an idea, but real matter, and that is space. The distance from my mouth to this mic, space. There is also this thing which we can label psychological space, right? I know you've had moments where time has warped in your life. That's the bottom line. So time is something fascinating, right? Because if time can warp, what does that mean? If so much of our life is built from thought and time, but time can warp, and we can see that we actually are not our thoughts, but we are the awareness that is capable of noticing how our thoughts create reactions and how that reaction communicates via a emotion. Can we notice what we are? And that is fundamentally the movement of the energy. Emotion, energy in motion. When we watch how our psyche moves, our reactions, our gestures, our tone of voice, our thoughts, when we watch that, we can learn. In this learning is non-personal. This learning is structural, meaning that as we do the work, we have more psychological space. The psychological space moves in tandem with the essence of what compounding is. You build a snowball as a child, snowball naturally gets bigger. Not much harder to push, weighs a little more, doesn't matter. That's the content. The compass is the fact that psychological space in noticing has a flow with momentum. So when this psychological space gets momentum, we do the noticing, the contrast of the beauty. The beauty is the contrast, right? And that is to see that you choicelessly, without a choice, right? This is hinting at an effortless discipline, a natural discipline, a lifestyle that is sharp and high level without effort or force. And this is when you see clearly what you are. When you see clearly what you are more aligned with truth. Psychological space guides you. And you let that intelligence, which is beyond you, so much beyond the divided personal you and your memory, your thought, your experiences. It's far beyond that. The personal, sure, we live through the vessel. The vessel is meant to be taken care of so the immeasurable flow of intelligence can guide us. As we are guided, humanity starts to wake up. We're at a precipice, baby. We're at a precipice. Humanity has to wake up, and humanity is waking up. We are awake. And that means that as each individual does the work, as they listen to this video, you watch what thoughts and reactions move within you as you listen. You don't listen to me as I and you are the same thing, but you use this channeling of precision to listen to your own movements. As you do that work, the psychological space may be invited. You might be able to help yourself. I can't help you. I can never do any work for you. I am not an authority. I am not your teacher. Don't believe me. Do the work in the moment to notice how you are moving. When you do that on a daily basis, moment to moment, you start to see that pain does not have to be suffering. That pain will arise every day. I don't want to say every day. Pain can arise. It will make itself known in the form of thought and emotion. That thought and emotion built off the map which I've laid out. As you do the work, the learning gets easier. Therefore, less pain, less suffering, life becomes easier. No longer existing, actually living. Not victim, not survival, but thriving. A garden, what does a garden need, right? Fresh air, sunlight, hydration, proper pH soil, a correct environment, etc. you will see the structure of how this compass guides you. You'll learn through noticing your own judgments, your rationalizations, your tendencies to suppress, to avoid. You'll watch how that works, and you'll see more clearly what you are, energy at the core. And when you awaken to see what you are, when your brain has no longer any dark spots, any confusion, but your brain is in the light, right? What happens when your brain has no dark spots? Naturally, we are looking at a brain which has light on it. There aren't dark spots. That means there's light. When you are working in alignment with the essence of light, what happens? What happens when humanity lives in alignment with the essence of light, truth, and clarity? Our behavior, our relationships are real. That means that we are listening, we are present. That presence in interaction, in material life, heals. It heals. And then what do we have? We have humans walking around who aren't perpetuating their own unhealed wounds onto others. What happens when we have a generation of parents who are wise and intelligent due to doing the noticing, using the innate compass which is within, letting that compass guide you to a life which has an abundance of psychological space and clarity. We live clearly, we treat others as we are meant to be treated. We truly embody that phrase. We treat others as we are meant to be treated. Then there's no more division. Now, this is what humanity is meant to be. Humanity, we're meant to bring quote unquote heaven down to earth. We do this by accessing the 90% of our energetic capacity which we have not been using. We access that psychological space which invites the 90% of energy through doing the noticing. Right now, we're on the precipice. All we have to do is the noticing. We first have to see the meaning behind the noticing. And only you can have that insight born by you doing the work. No one can help you. No one can help you, but you're not alone. And at the same time, you are alone. But that aloneness is a beautiful aloneness, a aloneness of clarity, aloneness of realizing that you are the same as everyone else. On a very simple structural level, we're all the same, absolutely the same. And that's the only reason why I can say this. If this has been valuable, if this has been enjoyable, any golden nuggets, any insights, I got off from work today. That's why I'm wearing the bandana. Bottom line is, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do the work. If you enjoy, subscribe below. New masterclass, new, just absolute high level stuff. Releasing. I digress. I'll let you know when it's out. But until then, subscribe below. 3 to 4 emails per week. Shorter than the videos, longer than a tweet. Have a wonderful day. Sincerely. Let's go. Have a wonderful day.